Hi guys, I'm Jeana'e Jackson.
And I'm Maximiliano Niño.
And you're watching Coog Cinema Reviews.
Holiday Special Edition.
Whoop whoop.
So, Jeana'e, what are we going to be reviewing today?
I don't know, we have to see what letters we have.
Sounds good.
Let's see. Dear Santa, my name is Charlie, and for Christmas, I want everyone around me to stop being dumb, especially my big brother. He's the dumbest ever. I don't even care if I get coal for this, just do what you gotta do. Love, Charlie. Wow.
Charlie, you're definitely getting coal.
Right? I don't know, but like for some reason, man, this is just reminding me of the Grinch.
Yeah.
So for those of you that have not seen The Grinch, I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis of like what this is about. So basically, every year Christmas comes around, the Grinch is like in his bad mood. He's in his cave, which is like on the outskirts of Whoville. And basically he like gets infuriated every time he hears the Christmas music, and it's just not his thing. He disguises himself as Santa. He goes to Whoville, he steals the presents, he takes them back to his cave, and then he's like, oh yeah, whatever, like I'm the Grinch, I stole all these presents. And then throughout the movie, he ends up having a change of heart, and he realizes that he probably shouldn't steal all these presents. So then he tries to return them back, and so he has a change of heart, and he likes Christmas. You've seen this movie, right?
Absolutely.
Because we can't be friends if you haven't seen this movie.
It's a Christmas classic.
This movie is like Christmas to me. Like when I think of Christmas, this movie is what pops to mind. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they just released a very Dr. Seuss classic on the new millennium, 2000. And I think they did a great job, honestly. I don't care about what the reviews say on IMDb. It's the greatest Christmas movie ever.
So like, what are some questions that like you had growing up as a kid? Because for me, I was always like intrigued with like the characters in Whoville and like how their hair was just like always in like weird like shapes and like ponytails.
So stiff too.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I would literally just be watching like, how did y'all do that? Like obviously it's a movie, but like how did they wake up every day to like do their hair like that? So that was one question that I had as a kid when watching this movie.
Yeah, hairdo, what, an hour every morning? Well, hell no. Can I say hell no?
Yeah, like you.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the questions I have is, how did they manage to do the makeup on the Grinch? I mean, green and hairy too, all over. That's some skill. That's really accomplished.
I feel like for me though, like watching the movie, like aside of the characters, I always wanted to know like how the Grinch like stayed green. Like as a kid, I would just be like, so did he like take a bath or something that like made his skin all like green looking and like ugly or whatever? But that was another question that I had.
Jeana'e, what is something that stood out from you for the movie? Any questions that you have about it?
So, aside from the fact of like the characters in Whoville, like how they looked with like their hair and stuff, like I also too wondered just like, obviously they're people, but like why were their noses like so pointy,
yeah,
and like why they all had like weird like teeth and like on top of like the hair.
Always
so that was,
cheeks too.
yeah, like always just like their crazy like outfits and just like everyone's so like jittery and like
they
happy
were cheery,
like all the time.
creepy, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of like creepy in like some parts when like Sydney, do you remember her? Like she's a little girl that has like the blonde hair. Her dad worked in the mailroom.
Oh yes, yeah. I remember her.
And so like, I remember one of my favorite moments in the movie is when Sydney is like in the mailroom and she's like helping her dad sort all the presents, and like the Grinch is like on the ceiling with like his dog, and so she looks up and she like sees him, and like they both scream at each other, and she's like, ah, and he's like, oh, and she's like, you're the, and he's like,
The Grinch! That was really good, yeah. One of my favorite moments, I want to say the star of the show was definitely Max, the sidekick.
Max was like the wing man, for real.
Honestly, he was the clueless, loyal sidekick for the Grinch. Adorable. Who doesn't love dogs in movies?
And I just think it's so funny, like how like all the characters inside the movie that like look weird, like you have this random dog that's just like normal, but like all the other characters like don't even look like they're from like the United States or something. It's weird, but Max was like the wingman.
To be honest, Jim Carrey who? Max is a star.
So I did have a question, like obviously there's a new remake of The Grinch, the animated version. So why do you think they made another one?
I want to say they just want to improve what the Grinch, the original 2000 movie is, and just adapt it to a more modern 2019 version. Because I mean, even though the 2000 version was sort of like a milestone, I mean, I think it was the beginning of movies to be done live action from cartoons or stories to be turned into live action. And now it just caters more to the kids and animation, you know? So I think it might have started the trend of live action movies, and now it's just jumping into animation.
Yeah, that's true, because like, especially like growing up watching that movie, I had a lot of like questions like, oh my God, why they look this way? And like some parts of it were creepy. So I guess like for us, like if you are a millennial or born before a certain period of time, like you can connect to that movie more versus like generation, X, Z, Y, whatever it is now, like they probably need like a more updated version of the movie. So I guess that makes sense for them to, you know, have a remake. But I still say though, Jim Carrey in that version
Should
is
have
like,
won an Oscar.
He is a crazy good actor though, like for real. Like I watched it like just to watch it again like earlier today. And
It's
I was
funny,
just like,
you know?
this guy can like act his ass off.
And it's very exaggerated, it's very theatrical, and they cater to both an adult audience and children audience too.
Because like
you know?
even like as an adult now, like
You
I
get
still,
the references,
yeah, like
the
you
dirty
get,
innuendos, you know.
exactly. So I can definitely see why they would make another one.
Yeah.
So one thing for me that I just couldn't get with when watching this movie, and even now watching it, is how the Grinch was treated when he was younger. Like he was bullied, and like he would be in class just like doing his thing, minding his business, you know, his like crazy drawings and stuff that like he would
original
do.
Baby Yoda.
Yes, and then people would like make fun of him, and like he gets up and he's like, I hate Christmas.
I hate Christmas!
And he like throws his stuff, and it's just so sad. Like, why? And then y'all wonder why he hate Christmas, because y'all was bullying him when he was younger.
I know, making fun of him for having a little crush on Margaret who?
Margaret who, Bill, get it? Boom.
There you go.
But yeah, didn't like that. That was messed up. Y'all shouldn't have bullied the Grinch when he was younger. Maybe he would have grew up to like Christmas this entire time. But no, y'all want to bully him and then be all upset because he don't like Christmas now.
What didn't work for me, I would say, would be just the mayor of Whoville.
The mayor.
Yeah, I mean, that was a character I hate with my guts. It's ridiculous. He's so obnoxious, so pompous, so...
And then like at the end, like the Grinch ends up taking his wife.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, here's my ring.
Right.
So they didn't even much work out anyway, so that was funny
Yeah.
towards the end. So yeah, guys, those are the moments that we felt did not work for the Grinch. Noted.
Jeana'e, I'm curious. Please tell me, what do you think the Grinch, the movie, makes it a Christmas classic?
I feel like for me, it's a Christmas classic because I don't know, like I just feel like Jim Carrey just like makes that character so well. Like that's the only version that I really just like have watched. So for me, like that's just a classic of like Jim Carrey as a Grinch. He hates Christmas, and like I just like him playing that part. So for me, that's just like he fulfills that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what makes it a great classic is it is an adaptation from a very well-known Dr. Seuss story. You know, it's very Christmas. It's the point of the story. It's to spend Christmas together and be with people. You know, have that sense of community, sense of you know, togetherness.
Yeah.
And that's what brings Christmas together. That's what really makes it a classic, especially because it's a comedy.
True, and even if you don't like Christmas and like you're like the Grinch and like, oh my God, I hate the music, I hate the colors. Like I feel like if you were to watch the movie like towards the end, you'd be like, oh my God, like let's go hang a tree. I'm ready for this, okay?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now tell me, who would you be in
Who would I be?
who would you be in The Grinch?
Oh man, I think I would be Sydney. She's so cute.
All right.
Like she's so cute. Like I just loved her. I think I would be her.
Nice.
I would totally be Sydney. Who
I
would
want to
you
be Margaret who?
Margaret. Bro, Margaret is like a
You know,
kid.
I would be having the mayor and the Grinch fighting over me. I mean,
All
come
that
on.
attention, right?
Yeah, I love attention.
Oh, sure. All of this, yes.
Take it in.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, to our Christmas edition of Coog Cinema Reviews. I'm Jeana'e Jackson.
And I'm Maximiliano Niño.
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Coog TV. Happy holidays.
Go Cougs!